All right, Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Wahar, Rakah, Quadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, which would be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, this sitting right here is going to be somewhat inspired by a thought, if you will. I was meditating in the spirit on how there's actually a formula, to walking a righteous walk. And that's simply to refrain and restrain from whatever the so-called white man is laid out. If this man goes down, then you go up. Okay, if he make a left, then you make a right. Why? Because his walk is contrary to Yahweh Shem Shah. Everything this man has laid out is adverse to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shah. Case in point, the scriptures tell you if man lieth with mankind as he lieth with a woman, they have both committed an abomination and they should surely be put to death, right? Yet this man turned right around and celebrate homosexuality. See? Another example, the scriptures outline, the dietary laws. There's certain foods that's considered unclean, and off limits in the sight of Yahweh Shem Shah, okay? Unlawful. And this man turned right around and make those very foods that's deemed unlawful into a delicacy. See? So that's just a few of many examples that prove that the so-called white man is totally contrary and adverse to Yahweh Shem Shah. So in essence, if you want to walk a certain walk, and do the things that's pleasing to Yahweh Shem Shah, then there's a simple formula, man. To refrain from whatever this man shows reverence to, whatever this man celebrate, whatever he promote and support, then you refrain from that. All right? Now, the men that you see that Yahweh Shem Shah has raised up to convey this gospel to you, and pretty much the overtone to this message in his ministry, it centers around separation and division. You see that? And you shouldn't marvel at that. Why? Because the scriptures support that. Now, the reason why I make that point is, first and foremost, this lesson is going to be centered around, that idea. And furthermore, this is what the so-called white man promotes. He promotes bringing everyone together under one banner, man. And that's what this new world order is all about, unity. Okay? Now, before we get into this lesson, I want to pull up a little info, all right?
E pluribus unum.
Okay, e pluribus unum, and you might be familiar with that phrase, which is Latin. Why? Because you will see it on most of your currency. It's found on dollars, certain dollar bills and on certain dimes, okay? Well, that phrase, e pluribus unum, okay, the definition of it is out of many, one. See? Out of many, one. The motto of the U.S., see? And there's a reason why this is the motto of the U.S., because this pretty much translates to them crowning their enterprise of success, which would be in the form of their New World Order, which they want to bring, all nations together under one banner, see? But if history ever taught you anything, especially as it concerns the scriptures, the Lord is not with that, man, okay? Matter of fact, let's start off real quick in the law itself, in the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, in the 8th verse, it says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated, see, the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Now this precept right here captures the intents and purposes of Yahweh Shem Shah as it concerns the nations. And there's two words that should jump out right here, see? And those two words are divided and separated, man. See? It was never meant for the nations to come together Okay? Now, when you go into the book of Genesis, the 11th chapter, this point is proven, okay, that the Heavenly Father never meant for the nations to coexist with each other. That's confusion. That's why the Lord gave each nation his own land. See? And pretty much it was Yahweh Shema Hawashah that gave these nations their customs when you really go into it, man. Okay? And only Israel was given the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Hawashah. And this is why we was exalted as a nation above all other nations. See? Because we had the laws from the highest power conceivable to govern ourselves by. See that? So this is Genesis, the 11th chapter, starting at the first verse. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Yeah, and this right here is being played out again today. This is the intents and purposes of the elites, the wicked elites, you know, in their new world order. They want everybody under one currency, which is going to come by way of the RFID and the NFC chip, you know, which is the mark of the beast spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter. And they want everybody under one rule, you know, under one so-called religion, and under one language as well. That's why you see the primary language is the English language. I don't give a damn what country you're from. If you're looking to coexist in this new world, you're going to have to learn the so-called English language. Now, this doesn't mean you can't know or speak any other languages out there, but your primary language is going to have to be English. That's why you see these other nations, you know, that's the first hurdle they got to get over, to learn the English language. Okay, if you want to be a pilot, I don't give a damn what country you're from, you got to learn the English language. See? So again, it says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. See? And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad. See, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Now, this thought in itself is contrary or adverse to what Yahweh Shema Hawashah has laid out. We just read in the law, in Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, that the Lord divided and separated the nations, man. See? But right here, this is the sentiment. It says, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. See? Now, keep that word scattered in mind, all right? Now, I want to get a quick precept before we go back. This is the book of Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, and the 29th verse. It says, is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? So this word is accomplishing what it was set out to do. You know, Esau and his elites, the wicked elites, they're trying to bring everybody together, you know, under one banner, you know, which is in the spirit of the New World Order, see? And we just looked up, you know, the U.S.'s motto, which is it's a tongue twister, e pluribus unum, okay, which means one out of many, okay? So that's the agenda for these elites. But this word is breaking that up. See, again, it says, it's not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer, see, that breaketh the rock in pieces. See that? So this word is accomplishing what it was set out to do. And that's to cause division, to divide, to separate, and to break in pieces. Now, when you click on the definition for this word, break, all right, it says to scatter. See that? To scatter, be dispersed, be scattered. Yeah, so this word was meant to scatter you, okay? It was meant to gather the elect, but it was meant to scatter the nations, man. That's why when you read in Revelation, the 18th chapter, it tells you how these foreigners who pitch their tents, they're going to go back to their own home. They're going to go back to their own land. See? And ultimately, everything is going to go back into its right order. See? In these different nations is going to, forsake this place, America. Why? Because it was never meant for everybody to come together. See? So again, this is the definition for the word breaketh, because the scriptures say the word of the Lord is as a hammer that breaketh, see, the rock in pieces. So the definition of that word break, it says to scatter, be dispersed, see, be scattered. All right? And that's why when you go back to Genesis, the 11th chapter, in the 4th verse, and they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered. See, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. See? So the intents and purposes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is to scatter the nations, for them to be divided. Okay? Yet, the so-called white man, proving that he's adverse and contrary to everything that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has laid out, his plans is to bring everybody together under the banner of the New World Order. That's why that's the acronym, New World Order. All nations to come together under one banner. See? Verse 5, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one. See? That goes back to the New World Order. Okay? And they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them, see? So the Lord scattered them. And again, when you look up that word breaketh, in Jeremiah the 23rd chapter, where the scriptures say, the word of the Lord is like a fire, and as of a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces, where that word breaketh, the definition for that word there is to disperse or to scatter. See? So there's nothing new under the sun. Just like they came together to build this one city, this one tower, who reached into heaven, pretty much meaning to be exalted above all nations, and bring everybody under this one banner of the New World Order. But guess what? The Lord confounded it back then, and he's confounding it now. But he's doing it by something as subtle as this word. See? The Lord is scattering, and breaking in pieces the plots and plans of the wicked elite. See? So again, Genesis, the 11th chapter, in the 8th verse, it says, so the Lord scattered them abroad, see, from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Yeah, so, these devils, the scriptures tell you, I think that's the book of Job. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get it real quick. Because just like they left off from building the city back then, they're not going to be able to finish, building this new world order now. See? Yep, this is Job, the 5th chapter, and the 12th verse. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, see, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And that's heavy. That word crafty goes back to craftiness or craftsman. Okay, so just like back then, they was building that city, that tower, and the Lord confounded it by scattering them and dispersing them. Well, guess what? That's playing out again. See that? So this is, again, Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, see, so that their hands cannot perform, see, their enterprise. See that? He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. See that? And how is the Lord accomplishing this? By way of this word, beginning to take root here on the planet Earth. So, this gospel, this ministry, all right, this doctrine that we possess, this is not being brought out in vain. No, this is working a marvelous work right here, man. So much so to that it's frustrating, the wicked elite, those who are actually in control of the planet Earth, who seize control of the entire planet Earth. But guess what? We have confounded them. through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. Okay? And again, this is what happened back then. All right? Again, Genesis the 11th chapter, starting at the 8th verse again. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build a city. See? Verse 9, therefore is the name of it called Babal, all right, or Babel. See? And that's why when you go back to this definition right here,
E pluribus unum.
for e pluribus unum, it says out of many one, the motto of the U.S. And the U.S. is known as what? Babel, man, or Babal, which translates to Babylon. See? So there's nothing new under the sun. Matter of fact, let me get some real quick to support that. It's the book of Romans, the 15th chapter, in the 4th verse. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime, and we reading something that was written aforetime, were written for our learning, see? That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. See that? See? So the scriptures is all about separation and division, all right? And the proof of that is the so-called white man is about bringing everybody together under one banner, and that's the New World Order, see? So that in itself proves that what we teach is in harmony and is on par with the wishes, if you will, of Yahweh Shah. Why? Because everything the so-called white man has done and to this very day do is contrary and adverse to Yahweh Shah. See? So if this man and his purposes is to bring about a new world order, to bring everybody together, then by default that proves that we got the truth, man. Why? Because we push separation. Matter of fact, let me grab something real quick, because our Lord Yahweh Shah pushed separation. See? This is St. John, the 7th chapter, in the 43rd verse. So there was a division among the people because of him. See, and this him right here is Yahweh Shah. And this actually translates to this very day. All right? Being the Lord, comes in a body. He's embodied in the scriptures. He comes in a volume of the book. To this very day, there's a division among the people because of him in the form of this word. See, again, St. John 7 and 43. And there was a division among the people because of him. So this is a form of setting things back in order, okay? Dividing the nations. It's like this, man. If you clean, let's say if you want to clean out your car, clean out your glove department, what's the first thing you do? You separate, man. Okay, if you're about to wash clothes, you separate. You see? You clean up your house, you separate the things that you look at as worthy to keep versus the things that you want to throw away. That's the first instinct whenever you bring in order, okay? You want to bring order to your toolbox, your medicine cabinet. Well, the first thing you do by instinct is you separate, see? So that's what Yahweh Shah is doing, He's bringing order, and the first move is to separate, see? So there was a division among the people because of him. See that? It's the book of Matthew, the 10th chapter. Starting at the 34th verse, it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And in this case, that sword is symbolic to division. And when you read on, it's going to prove that. For I am come to set a man at variance, which means difference, against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. See that? So that what the Lord have come to do, to bring division. See that? So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.